You're listening to 1680 WOKB AM, Winter Garden, Florida.
This is your host, Jay Real from Real Family Talk. We are here live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is Hump Day. Listen to the show and enjoy your Wednesday night. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. Man, we are 2015. We've been off for a couple weeks now. As always, excited to be back. Today's even more special, though. She's back. I've been tweeting all day. She's back. She's back in the building. Better is back in the building, a.k.a. Miss McCray is back with us. And so that makes it even sweeter as far as I'm concerned.
Amen.
How you doing, Miss McCray?
Each day gets better. I've missed you all. I missed the listeners. I miss being here. I got my seat back. Mike has been keeping it warm for me, but now I'm back.
Who?
Mr. King, excuse me.
Okay. Straighten that.
Okay.
Straighten that when you address me.
Well, no, Happy New Year, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I'm blessed to be here.
Awesome, man. So Miss McCray's back in the building. Jeremy's in the building. How you doing, Jeremy?
I am better.
Amen.
I'm good. How you doing?
Mr. King's in the building.
My brother. 2015 is here, and better is here too.
Amen.
There
I
you
get
go.
my seat next week. It's cool.
Okay, let's see.
And Jamba's in the building as well. How you doing, Jamba?
I'm amazing. I got a new seat, seeing that Mr. King got kicked out. We all had to shift down. But it's okay. You can have my seat. You can have it.
See, I didn't know it was affecting you, my sister. We'll work it out next week.
We got this.
Seats are important.
Yep.
That's why they have assigned seating in school, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to have
In church,
order.
if you notice people sit in the same spot in church, same
try to.
The
side.
school bus.
Yeah.
You know what I try to do in church? Try to sit
You
in
do-
somebody's seat just to mess
You
with
do
them.
that on purpose.
I mean, sometimes just to see how how saved they are. See if they go get upset because I'm in their spot.
You in their pew.
Like, can you just get another spot? Like the spirit ain't coming to this section. It just dwells in your seat.
A mess.
Is that right, man?
But that's just me being me, you know.
That's just you being you. That's right.
Petty.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man. Like I said, man, we're just excited to be back. It's 2015. Just real quick, man, a couple new stories that popped up today for a lot of Florida State fans. I'm sure they were excited to hear or perhaps
Well, I would
disappointed.
be excited to hear that.
Or disappointed. I don't know.
I'm happy for him. Don't get me wrong.
There you go. That's why you're excited. You're happy for Jameis Winston. He has decided he is headed to the NFL draft. So hopefully it goes well for him, man. Hopefully it goes well. That last game, that was not pretty. There was not a lot of highlight film in that last game against Oregon, but he did get 25-0 straight prior to that. So hopefully that won't hurt him in his draft status. I know a lot of people are excited because the Bucks, I believe, are going to at least be certainly in the top two picks, one or two. And so a lot of people are hoping that the Tampa Bay Bucks will pick him up. They certainly need a long-term solution at quarterback, and he's proven to be a winner. So maybe. I know he'll sell a lot of I don't think they're having problems selling seats down there, but I'm sure he will sell a few extra season tickets
If they name him the starter.
if they draft him. So good luck to him, man. But that, you know what that does? Opens the door. Braxton Miller said he was thinking about transfer.
on.
So perhaps there is a space for him and a spot for him down at FSU now. So
Yeah, what do he have? 1 more year eligibility, right? I believe he just has 1 more year eligibility. If he do that, hey, right back in the national hunt. Right back in there.
you don't think those? I heard there's a backup. I think he's a sophomore, or junior. There's a redshirt freshman, and then apparently they have 4 freshman prospects that they're bringing in.
Yeah, I know
in their recruiting class.
Yeah, a couple of prospects. You know, obviously, they're supposed to be real good. One of the guys already there is supposed to be somebody to be reckoned with. So we'll see. We'll see.
So the championships might continue next year.
I'm be honest. I don't care who start, as long as we in the running.
There you go. Pretty much.
I don't care who start. You know, I don't got nothing, vested in there personally. I just want the Seminoles back.
Gotcha. All right.
Beat the Gators and the Canes. That's all.
There you go.
That's all that matters, huh?
Yep.
All right. Even more disturbing news. We woke up this morning to hear about the 12 people that got killed out in France. Apparently, there were a group of 3 shooters that, of all places, a satirical magazine went and shot up a satirical magazine in France because they were creating satire against Islam and Allah. It just amazes me. I mean, as Christians, we see God and we see Christianity attacked all the time, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem to not drive anybody to go kill somebody because they attacked or did something negative.
Well, now.
Go ahead.
You remember now. Remember.
What am I forgetting?
You're forgetting the Christian Crusades.
Well, no,
That's
I'm
what
not
you're
even
forgetting.
I'm not even talking about that far back.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
if you can talk about the people killing the abortion, the doctors that perform abortions in the name of Christianity,
There you go.
And
It's
then,
multiple times that it's happened.
unfortunately, people just distort. Well, whatever their belief is, a lot of times people just distort it or they take it to the extreme, or they have their own interpretation of it. I mean, if you want to go. You remember the Klan, quote unquote, was doing what they was doing in the name of Christianity. For but they said white Christians, because black Christians don't exist, so black people can't be saved.
They didn't at the time, anyway.
Right, black people can't be saved. Yeah, they did. They existed then.
Well,
When the Klan was around, they did.
in the Klan's mind, there was no.
Oh yeah.
So, well, I guess you're right. There are other examples of, especially when you go back in history. But when you think about modern day society, we typically don't have those types of reactions to satire.
Right.
Because some of the people that got killed today were cartoonists. They draw cartoons. It's like, that's what he does. What'd you do? Oh, I draw cartoons, and I got killed for it. Yeah.
And what I understand, the shooters came in like calling people's names.
Right.
That's they targeted these people.
Right. Exactly. It was a planned, thought out. This is what we're gonna do. Here are the names. Let's get them.
I think that's interesting because you never think a cartoonist to be a dangerous job.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
exactly.
wow.
I mean, but if
Exactly.
you're writing cartoons about Allah, you should know that you're going to be in danger.
Should you?
I mean, if they
Today?
taking down planes,
Well, I would say this: over anywhere outside the U.S., yes, you should know. I mean, look at it. Remember, they did terrorist attacks in London. They all, we look at it here because Christianity is so prominent here, and don't get me wrong, the Muslim community is prominent, but they're not like what's the word? A force that we are really like concerned about. Like we're not really concerned about jihadists over here. It's like, we'd say, okay, 9/11 happened, but when the last time they did that? You know what I'm saying? Over there in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, this stuff that happens pretty regularly. So I'm not shocked personally.
I guess another one of those things that we just gotta expect or get used to, huh? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, to some extent, yes. Unfortunately, to some extent, yes.
I mean, when you're making cartoons about somebody else's religion, faith, belief in their God, what do you expect? People, I find it like if you let somebody just talk about the God that you praise, worship, is your savior, all of that, you just let somebody draw some cartoons and talk bad about them, what are you supposed to do?
Retaliate by killing them?
Hey, I mean, that's what happens. Yeah.
No.
That's what we're supposed to get used to?
I'm sorry, but if you talk, you don't understand. See, people don't want to look at it from that point of view because they feel like, well, hey, talk about God, talk about Jesus, and I'm going to let God and Jesus handle that. No, you don't talk about nobody else's God. That's just, when are people going to get that through your mind? You don't talk about nobody else's God. That's why religion is one of those taboo conversations that you don't have because you don't want to offend anybody.
Because
But
no one's thinking that if I offend you,
and then you think ain't nothing gonna happen because you're drawing cartoons about somebody else's God. Since it's a cartoon, it's okay. No, you're not talking positive about somebody else's God that they feel saved their life. They feel that that's their savior. People take God seriously.
Right.
Some Christians don't take it serious, and they feel like, well, whatever. Muslims don't do that. And if you ain't realized that yet, you've been under a rock.
So we're going to put that under the list of things that if you do, you might get killed for because that is your punishment.
Let me get this straight. So you're going to talk about my God that I praise, that I worship, that saved me, that saved my kids, that I'm living for. This is the only reason that I'm alive, is to praise God.
So
that's the only reason I'm alive, and I'm going to let you talk about it. I'm going to let you draw some cartoons about it
so the
and make a mockery of it. I didn't say that was the best solution. Now, you're trying to put words in my mouth, and I'm not going to let you do it.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that
it's
you
justified.
Can't
it
talk
sounds
about
like what you're
God.
saying is that it's justified.
Every
that
religion
because
has
they
done
spoke about somebody, because they spoke about the God, your God, who you live for, and all this other stuff, and even though it doesn't change the way you view your God, they still spoke about it. So now it's your job to go online, check every magazine, make sure that no one else is speaking about your God, because if they do, now you're going to come after them and kill them. Is that justified? Is that what you're saying?
That's what it said in the Bible.
It's not justified, but it sets a dangerous precedent. And unfortunately, especially, I'm not saying there's quote unquote, as they like to call them, radical Muslims. There's certainly, a radical section of, I'm sure, Christianity that sort of probably feels the same way that Mr. King is expressing. But certainly, if it does exist, that certainly doesn't make the headlines. Whereas we have tons of headlines where quote unquote radical Muslims have taken what they believe and in the name of Allah killed several people, and so especially in recent society. Obviously, I don't think that's a valid reason to kill anybody. I think we live in a day and age where we're seeing atheists on the rise. We're seeing just a rise of people who don't even believe in the existence of God. So I think it's expected that we're going to see more and more attacks on the concept of Christianity, the concept of Islam, just the concept of a God that is somehow guiding your life. We're seeing tons of attacks on that. And then it's up to those of us who believe to make our decisions. But we certainly can't go around just killing everybody that decides to, quote unquote, make a mockery of what we believe. I think that we'd unleash and deplete the population a lot more than we really think. And I don't think that's what anybody wants, for that matter. So justified, I think, is a bit harsh. But
so let me ask you this then, because I know that Christianity became the dominant religion in the world and in America.
No, it's just America. It's
okay, well, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
Islam
just say in
is
America.
still the dominant.
In the world, you're right about that. So Christianity became dominant in America from killing people. Nobody wanted to be a Christian. We're going to have the Christian crusade. You don't want to be a Christian, we're going to kill you. What is the difference between that and this?
It is 2015.
Well, again, we all know that when you go back in history, there's been tons of wars that have been created based on religion. We're not denying that. But I also believe as a society, we are also, understanding history and doing our best not to repeat it as well. Mm-hmm. And while some people still repeat it, that's, it happens. Everybody's not going to rise above that level of thinking. But I think as a society, we have risen above that level of thinking, and that's what I'm referring to. And so, again, we don't see mass Christians going out and fighting Islam, or people who believe in Islam just to prove that Christianity is greater. We don't see that sort of war that we saw in the past happening today. It's just not there. And even in Islam, we don't really see that there either. There's small sects of people who we like to give a lot of media attention to, but when you look at the scope of the people who believe in Islam and who practice Islam, we're still talking about a very small piece of that particular society. So that is not where we are. We aren't repeating history. We're highlighting those individuals who go astray from what is considered to be normal, quote unquote, today. That's what I think, sir. 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. We're going to keep it moving. I know, Miss McCray, you let me know earlier you had some things you wanted to share, so I'm going to go ahead and open the floor for that, Miss McCray.
Ooh, on the spot. All right. Well, for those that don't know, the reason why I was out was because I had a liver transplant due to a rare, crazy, insane liver disease called primary sclerosing cholangitis. That was a mouthful.
Say that one more time.
Yeah.
Primary sclerosing cholangitis. Yeah.
You have to break that down. For
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Some people like, I don't understand
pretty
those
much.
words.
It's what Walter Payton had, and during his time, there was no. They didn't figure out that a liver transplant would be it. So thank God for technology and medicine, because I probably would not still be here if they haven't made those progresses. But I'm starting with a quote that a good friend of mine shared with me while I've been in recovery. It happened August 22nd, 2014. And so I'm just shy of 5 months and still in discomfort and pain and still adjusting. But I'm here. And so I decided to come back to the family, and they welcomed me.
Always.
Yes, but this quote spoke to me. Your greatest challenge in life is your biggest opportunity to be a blessing to others. And with that, of course, for me to live, I had to have a donor. Someone had to pass. And before I got sick enough to actually have surgery, I would always pray for that person. I don't know them. I still today don't know who it is. But I just send out positive vibes and just pray for them every single day before transplant, because I knew our lives would connect. And so I continue to pray for them, and especially during the holidays, as I celebrated with my family, I couldn't help but think of them. And that's all I can say is them, my donor's family. So with that process, I want people to take care of themselves, be aware of their health. I thought I was healthy, just went to a normal checkup, and my doctor found it, and it was a 5.5-year process of just going through all types of stuff. But now I'm on the other side, but recovery is very difficult in itself, but it just teaches you that health is number one. If you're not healthy, there's really, your powers are limited. And so that starts with how you, from mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all of those things have to become in one and together. And I've learned so much through this process and the struggle that I've been going through. So people were so kind to me and gave, and not even just in monetary gifts or just gifts in period, just moments of wisdom and prayer and just checking on me. And so now I'm making it my life's duty, my life's work, just to give even more than I did before, without even thinking about it, to everything, to somebody in need, to people in need, as much as I can. And what I've learned also, my pastor always says that when you give it back. You get it back. God's going to reward you greater than you can even think about. And I'm not even thinking about the rewards, but it's just making sure that people are okay. And so especially the people in my life, J. Real, your wife, the family, yes, Mr. King, you too.
Thank you.
For praying for me and thinking of me and making me laugh even when it hurt. It means a lot to know who is really in your corner when you're in a place where you don't know. I really did not know how sick I was until I got into surgery. And like I said, I've been sick for a while, 2.5 years on the waiting list for a transplant, and I was still doing my thing as much as I could. But once I got into the operating room, and a quick story about that, I was really nervous. You're going into this huge surgery, 7 to 10 hours. And I was starting to have like panic attacks leading up to it. And I was like, God, I just want to go into this with peace. Like whatever if you're going to take me, then I need to be okay with that. If not, I need to be okay with moving on. So I just kept having this problem. And I was like, okay, I just want to go in this with peace. And I had a friend of mine pray for me 2 weeks before the surgery, just random prayer from a dream that I had. And I'll wrap it up quick. But basically in the dream, I kept going up this hallway and I kept getting knocked down by water. Like water just kept pushing me back. I was drowning in it. I wasn't drowning in it, but I was just falling into it like a whirlpool. But it would reside, and I would keep walking up the stairs. So I told her about this, and she prayed for me. And basically she was saying that God says that you will not fail. And that message gave me the peace that I needed. So when I got the call, even though my family and I were still anxious, there was this peace about us that I did not expect. Because my mother and my father, I'm their only child. So, yeah, you already know it was just a mess. But we all were just so calm and at peace. So we said a family prayer. The anesthesiologist came in and said, let's go into the OR. Most people have to be wheeled in. He was like, I want you to walk. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to walk. So he took my glasses, because I can't see without my glasses or contacts. And I said, sir, I can't see, so I need you. So he held his hand out, and we were walking down the hallway like we were going to prom. and talking about sports and just whatever. It was just calmness. And I did not turn back around to look at my parents. That was for the best, because I knew that was going to be a mess. So I get up into the floor of the actual OR, and the people on the floor are looking at me because, again, usually people are rolled in. So they're like, who is this person that's walking in? So they're giving me high fives as I'm walking down the hall and stuff, and like it's a superstar. And I walk into the main room, and it's about 15 people, like in scrubs, like looking like Grey's Anatomy, for real. And they're like, the guy's like, this is our patient, Philip McCray, everybody. She's here for a liver transplant. And they start to applaud. And I'm like, well, all right. Hey, we need to play some Beyonce. I could be okay. And it was all good until like I really took a moment to look around, and I saw all the monitors and the machines and some of the tools and this table, this silver, just cold looking table. And it had a body warmer on top of it. And so they were like, we need you to lay down. So that's when I started to kind of freak out a little bit. And the guy that was holding me, he was like, you're shaking. So this is real now, okay? I was like, yeah, it's a little real. So I lay down, and they're quick. They're like, everybody, again, it's like 15 people. Everybody has a job to do. So they're just fussing over me. And I'm kind of like, all right, this is happening. And this nurse, and God, I don't know her name, but she was over my head, and she was like stroking my head. She's like, it's going to be all right. And this guy, the other nurse, or maybe he was a doctor, he was holding my hand, and he was just stroking my hand. Both of them were just, it's going to be okay. She was just whispering in my ear. And that slowed my breathing down a little bit. I heard the machine, because I was like, I was like, okay, breathing down, it's calm me down. And then the doctor was like, I'm just going to put in this medicine, and you're going to go to sleep. And the whole time I said, I just want to see my parents again. And then I just started saying Jesus. That was it. Jesus, 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 until I fell asleep. Breathing in whatever they told me to breathe in. And that was at 10:21, because I remember him saying, pushing in medicine at 10:21 a.m. All I remember is waking up with a nurse over me. And I said, well, what time is it? She was like, it's 7:30. What? 7:30? It was just 10:21 all this time. And since then, it's been a roller coaster up and down. But God has been just amazing. And it's amazing what the body can do, what your faith can do, and what the people around you can do for you. And I just want everybody to take care of themselves, love one another, appreciate the time that you have now, because it is not promised. Every single day, every moment, every loved one that you have, enjoy them, tell them how you feel, and just appreciate life. And so I'm back now. I'm better. I'll be writing my little story. We took some video, like a little video diary of the whole process. So I'm trying to put all that together and write, and we'll see where that ends up in the world.
Awesome.
So we'll see.
Awesome.
That's it.
Yes, that's awesome, man. That's
thank you for having me back, and Happy New Year.
Hey, I told you when you left, the seat is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping it warm, Mr. King. Appreciate it.
We had no doubt that you would come back and fill in that seat.
Amen.
And put your boxing gloves on the table. And handle Mr. King if so necessary.
Yeah. I'm not quite at 100% yet, but when I do get there. Yeah.
I ain't even gonna comment.
You know how
my brother.
You see.
So I just wanted to say. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
son.
we're done.
No.
Any questions?
No question. I was going to talk about something else, but go ahead.
We're done.
Okay. Yes. So, like we said, we're glad to have you back. We're glad you're feeling better. And as you said, we were definitely praying for you, still praying for you.
Amen.
So that you have a full recovery through it all. So, and you live to be 90? You want to be 90? 100? 102?
We'll
3?
see. You know.
See, I don't know if I want to be 102 or 103.
Yeah.
Why not? I want to be.
If I can do for myself.
That's the thing. If because I feel like if I live that long, I'll be active. I'm not gonna be running.
Prayer.
I'm not gonna be running up and down the basketball court, but
You might.
I'd be wise enough to be
knowing
talking.
you'd probably try.
I'd be. Oh, you know. But like, move out the way, young buck.
Moving so slow.
407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680. If you want to just give a call, shout out Miss McCray. Encourage her through her continued recovery, and as she says, she's doing better every day. That's Miss McCray, a.k.a. Better, y'all. 407-894-1680 is the number. I see we have Jason Henry's on the phone. How you doing, sir? What's going on?
I'm doing well, man. What about you?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. So I hear a familiar voice. I was actually listening to the show because I saw that Miss McCray was coming back, and sorry I can't be there to I don't know, hug you or give you a high five or something in person, but I'm glad to hear your voice, and I just wanted to call and say that I know we were all praying for you, and I'm glad that everything worked out in your favor.
Thank you, Jason. We miss you here, and yeah, you up and moved up on us. That's all right. See how you do.
Man, listen, it's like 17 degrees up here right now.
I was going to say, I know it's cold right now.
That's what you get. Come back to Florida.
Oh, man, that's cool, man. Hey, real quick, man, what's the good word, Jason?
Oh, man, I think this Bill Cosby thing is a good word right now. Between that, Rick Scott being sworn in, on Monday.
Yeah, good times, man. Good times. Rick Scott.
Yeah, right?
It's official.
Right? So,
he's back.
Officially a 2-term governor for Florida. So that should be interesting to watch over the next 4 years.
Definitely. Yeah, I saw, I've been seeing your posts. A lot of people have been commenting because Felicia Rashad came out and defended Bill Cosby, which is expected. I mean, she worked with the man for what, about 10 years or something like that? How long was Cosby Show out there? 10 years?
12.
Man,
she was his wife.
It was like 8 seasons, but you remember they had a second Cosby Show where she was his wife.
Yeah, exactly,
right.
exactly. So they worked together like 10 years. Like, you expect her to come out and say, she don't know what she doesn't know him to be that guy, and those women are, probably telling falsehoods as she sees it because she knows the man. She's known him for 10 years, worked together for probably 4 or 5 days a week for about 10 years. So she said, I know him.
Like 6 days a week.
Well, here's the update. I'm just now pulling it up. As of 7:20 ABC News that aired, she said that was a misquote. And what I said is that this is not about the women. This is about the obliteration of a legacy. I'm a woman and I would never say such a thing.
That's interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, and she has that Claire Huxtable look on her face as she's sitting with David Muir.
That's very interesting.
Sounds like a publicist.
Yeah,
move
cleaning it
right
up.
there.
Cleaning it up.
Very,
Clean
I
very
heard how
much
she
so.
sounded.
Yep.
Because the legacy is what's important,
Yep.
not the
I guess
potential.
that was my whole point, is that we're talking about a fictional legacy. Not saying that you shouldn't be wrapped up in what he meant maybe to you on TV, but we don't know. I mean, we should separate the art from the human.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you may know him as a coworker, but you may not know him as a person.
Right.
So, but it's not a simplistic conversation to have. I can see that.
No, it's not. Because like I said, a lot of people are still caught up in what he represented on that show, and as they see it in his life, which mirrors the show as far as they're concerned. And so to think of him as being this alternative monster is what they really want to call him. It's kind of like I don't see it. I just can't see it. He made the Cosby Show.
It's not about
Exactly what it is.
Different world.
And he made Different World.
He's done more than that. He's
Classics.
given to multiple colleges. He's had multiple TV shows that, the craziest thing little kids say. This man has a legacy, and it's just they're trying to do their hardest to try to tarnish this man's legacy. And I won't go for it either. It has nothing to do with the TV shows. It has what this man has done in the community. That's what it's about. Now,
Wait. Not saying I disagree with you, but Bill Cosby isn't necessarily a fan of black folk in the first place. And the reason why I say that is because he wrote a whole book about why black people need to pull their pants up, and that would give them greater economic freedom. So that on its own is problematic, that so many of us, and again, I understand that there's duality to this and it's not simple, but so many of us are coming to his defense when for the longest he's been shaming for black people for decades, basically.
See.
And it's kind of funny that on the other side he's saying that, you know what, I don't expect anybody to be neutral in this except for the black media. Well, you weren't saying that when you were telling black people that if they just simply pull their pants up, everything for them would be okay.
Well, I can completely agree. If you put your pants on your butt, then things would change for you in life. That's a first step. And I completely agree with baby steps towards success.
That's not
Pulling
the
your
first step.
pants up
Not
is
at
the
all.
first
The
step.
Pants up, not the first
respectability
step.
The what?
politics is not. That's no.
No, that's not the first step.
Pulling your pants up ain't the first step?
No, that's not a conversation.
Part
It's
of it.
It's a
Sure.
change in the mindset. The change in the mindset will cause you will pull your own pants up. Nobody will have to tell you that.
But if you had your
But-
pants on your butt, then your mindset wouldn't be the way that it was.
It's not
Look,
the pants.
President
It's not
Obama
the pants
wears
on.
a suit every day.
It's not the pants on
And
your
that
butt
man
that,
is
And we
that
still
causes
haven't found his
that
birth
cause
certificate.
that cause your
Okay.
mindset to change. It's not the pants on the butt that cause your mindset to change. But like I say, that's a whole nother conversation.
I mean, she the one brought the man up. If I found his birth
I
certificate,
can't.
then I
Stop.
talk about it.
Stop
Said
it.
we find Hussein
Stop.
birth certificate.
Stop.
Wasn't he in Paris this weekend? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I could have swore I seen
Okay.
Obama
No, you
in
did
Paris.
This brother.
is
Hey,
what I
I'm
missed.
gonna give a disclaimer. His views do not reflect those of
Thank you. Lock the door.
Thank
WOKB
you.
1680
Lock the
AM or Ram Communications or any of the other co-hosts on this show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
Close the
I
blinds.
second that. I don't know what Brother Real be talking about.
Don't even put that on J Real.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Brother really back me
wow,
up. Where that
man.
brother birth certificate at? Joe?
But you're right, sir. This is very complicated, and I just think a lot of people don't want to see what they perceive to be sort of a black hero, because he brought the show that we sort of longed for at a time when we weren't getting those types of shows on the air, and so it's just kind of hard to think of him being this other individual that they're describing.
Let me
and
just
I think I can still watch the Cosby Show and separate him from what he supposedly did.
correct.
20 years ago?
But the other side of that is I
More than that.
still can't listen to R. Kelly.
Shoot.
See, that's but here's the funny part though. We quick to defend him, but come on, time and time again, what do they always say about the serial killer? He was so nice. He was such a good neighbor. We never thought he had all them bodies in there. Remember, the guy in Ohio had the women kidnapped 20 years. Nobody never knew what the guy would say. Oh, he was nice. We used to talk. I see him out there working in the yard.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's like, and these people that see these other people every day. So what I'm saying, I'm just saying it to say this. You don't know yet.
Well, see,
we don't know.
I don't think
It's
we'll
not
ever know.
it's
That's what
not
makes it
about
so
knowing.
complicated.
That's true, but I mean,
it's
it
about
is what it
a
is.
legacy that they're trying to tarnish. If you bring up some allegations from 20 years ago, over 20 years, and now we want to make you look bad.
Some of these
Wait.
allegations are 40 years
I mean,
ago.
what is that? I mean, to me, that just seems really, really lazy. We just want to get rid of this man's legacy. Why? And what does his legacy mean that we want to get rid of it? I mean, we're talking about him donating to different black colleges, which is great, and how he made black people feel about themselves by watching Bill Cosby on TV. But that's it. We're not talking about he, figured out some type of new way to cure brain cancer or something.
Right.
We're talking about, and we can't even define the legacy. I'm not saying that you can't. But for a lot of people that are saying that, they're just trying to, erase his legacy, well, define what the legacy means. And why is it that they're trying to get rid? He's an 80-year-old man. What do these women have to gain by coming out and saying that an 80-year-old man or I don't know, he was what, 40, 50 when it happened.
See,
he tried to sexually abuse them. Like, what about his legacy is so important that they need to get rid of it?
Because it's all about a psychological thing. It's a what my co-host would call a conspiracy theory. That's what they would call it. And that's what it's all about. Like it came out in a time where they were tarnishing all African American males' names. It came out when the dude was supposedly beating his wife. Now then the other dude was beating his kids.
What,
then Bill Cosby. Hey,
Supposedly?
I didn't
Did
see
you
the
say
video.
that?
I didn't see the video.
Oh, okay.
You should have saw it.
The world did, though.
You should have saw it.
Supposedly?
We can confirm he hit his wife.
No,
Pretty much.
Me and Roger
He
Goodell
confirmed
did
it.
not see that video.
Okay.
Y'all the only two.
Hitting his wife.
Yeah, he lying, too.
She hit him first.
Okay.
But anyway, that's what it's all about. In the time that we're in now, where African Americans are standing up for themselves, they're trying to tarnish whatever black.
Wait. Yeah, and I agree with
Look
that.
at you, I guess.
African Americans, I guess you can say, are standing up for themselves. But we're talking about issues dealing with men. Whenever we talk about issues dealing with black women, it's, oh, well, you know what? We always try to erase that part of it. There's even issues right now with the Black Lives Matter movement where they're still saying that black women voices are being marginalized. Whenever it comes to black women, and Beverly Johnson, who came out and said that he attempted to, but she got away, everybody was saying, well, she's just a washed-up model anyway. No, whenever it comes to issues dealing with black men, we are so quick to say that, yeah, they're just trying to destroy the black man. Well, on the other side of it, now we have black women who are stating that, yeah, you know what, Bill Cosby man raped me. No, you lying. They're trying to get rid of his legacy. No, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Why is it when it comes to victim shaming and erasure, especially of black women, why do we always go to the other side of it instead of standing up when it comes towards issues dealing with black men?
I think I would say, as far as society is concerned, I think in general, especially I think in the black community, we feel like the black male or black man is under attack. And so because we feel like he's under attack, anytime an attack happens, we feel the need to step in and sort of protect him because we feel like nobody else will do that. And so I think that has a big part of the conversation because we feel like we're losing black men and black men are being lost in society. And so anytime there's one of them that we can sort of put on a pedestal, quote unquote, and look up to, and anytime somebody tries to knock him off that pedestal with what essentially are their allegations, there's never going to be a court hearing on any of these things. It's basically just whatever the public wants to believe. And so we feel like, wait a minute, yeah, this is a little suspect, but there's no proof. He's not going to court for this. This is simply just a matter of public opinion. And we don't want to take down one of our quote unquote, when it comes to the business that he was in, he opened doors for a lot of other people. And so he meant a lot to the community in the sense of the doors that he was able to open and put people in. And so as we probably, or some feel, when you tear down what he's done, that sort of now closes another door, perhaps, for somebody that's trying to come up after him. And so I think that's why we tend to do that, because we feel like there's an attack on us or black men, and so we got to step in. And then as he said, with like the Beverly Johnson comment, when she piles on, which is essentially not even an allegation. It's like, well, maybe he was trying to do that to me. It wasn't he did, it was maybe. And it's like, okay, so he didn't, and you can't really prove that he did, so why even come out? Like, what purpose did that serve? And again, like, you already know how they do us. That's how we're looking at her. You already know how they do us. Why would you come and step up and do that? So that would be my comment, Jason.
Hey, like I said, it's not an easy conversation to have. It's not simple. There are multiple layers to it. I don't think anybody's necessarily right or wrong in coming to the defense or even to criticize him, because, again, so many of these cases, I guess, were away from the statute of limitations. Yeah. So it's just basically opinion at this point.
It is. And that's the problem. He's being, and I think that's a lot of the problem that people have, is you're basically running his name through the mud. You're pretty much calling him a monster that's been hiding for 40, sometimes 50 years in some of these cases. And again, there is no way we're ever going to get any concrete evidence, because none of them have it, They don't have the concrete evidence. So we're
But you
never
know
going to
what?
have
You know
any
who has the
concrete
evidence?
evidence to say, here's the story that I can hold on to and prove that, yes, this lady told the truth. All we have is, well, 40 years ago, he did this. Okay.
That cappuccino machine has the evidence.
It's the So, you know, that's the problem. I think that's the problem. It's like you're going to run his whole career through the mud is to say we've been propping him up on this pedestal all these years and he's just been a monster in hiding. And there's no way we will ever be able to prove any of their stories to be, quote unquote, factually true through a court of law. And that's the problem.
It's not a problem, man. I was in high school and I dealt with he say, she say, and I never listened to it. So now that I'm a grown man, I'm not going to listen to he say, she say because you want to just come out 20, 30 years later and then try to bring your story back up to try to tear this man's name down. It's horrible. I feel like why? I don't know. I mean, I do know, but nobody wants to hear why. They're just trying to tear the man's name down. Like you say, it's not going to go to court. Nothing's going to happen. We're just going to tear down whatever small legacy or large legacy, whatever he has. We're just going to tear that down until he dead.
But
And then,
But see, I think the other part of that is we're basically saying that these women who said that they were raped, like, I mean, I've never been raped, God willing, I never will be, and I don't know anybody that has come out to say that they have. But for any woman to have the courage to come out and say, yeah, you know, I was raped. It happened 40 years ago, but it still happened. Yeah, we can still say, you know what, there's no proof, there's no evidence. I'm really sorry that may have happened to you. But I don't think we have, I don't know the correct word to use, but to just simply say that, you know what, these women are attempting to do this, but they're saying that they were raped. I mean, that pendulum is swinging really, really violently. We go from saying that he's trying to tear away a legacy, or that they're trying to tear away his legacy, to basically saying that what happened to you did not matter.
it's not saying that what happened did not matter, but it's just saying that did it really happen? It's too easy for a female to say a man did anything and she will be the one that's in the right, no matter what. I have family members that are teachers. And if the student said that, oh, he did this, he did that, even if it's not true, he's in the wrong. And that's how simple it is now in 2015. If the female says anything, he's in the wrong. And did he do anything? We don't know. But now my family got to move out the state just to keep his name in the clear, just so he won't have a bad name because some female student said he did something that we don't know what really happened. So that's all I'm trying to say. It's kind of like it's easy for a female to come out and just be like, ABC happened. No, I don't have no proof, but I'm a woman. I'm telling you what happened. Why would I lie?
Here's the thing about that. You have to be extra careful with that. Sure, there are times where a lady may say that she's been raped or assaulted and it did not happen. That Rolling Stone issue set victim back hundreds of years.
It's not the first time.
I mean, but that Rolling Stone, like, they're supposed to be this huge publication that's supposed to be reputable. Anyway.
Come on, we know the media today follows Twitter
that was
and Facebook.
Lazy journalism.
If it was on Twitter and Facebook, it's a possibility. Why
would you not check your sources?
CNN's done it. ABC's done it.
Anyway,
we're
getting off topic. That's just anyway. My point is that I think the problem, not only are we talking about Cosby and his reputation, but then there's also that fine line where you have to be careful when you're talking about rape, because unlike you, Jason, thankfully you don't know anybody who's been raped. I know several people who have been raped, and it's extremely difficult to say it as a private person, not a public figure, or putting it out there where the world can judge you. So it's just difficult. It's difficult to talk about when you have this many people saying the same similar story. It kind of makes you think, because with the Darren Sharper issue, one girl came out, everybody's like, she just was blah, 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 blah. But then 2, 3, 4, 5, how many in different states had the same exact story? And he's a monster.
To piggyback on that, I'll also say that, yeah, I have male friends who have been falsely accused of it, and it is horrible. But the other side of that is statistics will point to that still happens rarely. If we have, let's say, 1 million cases where women say they were raped, maybe 0.1% or 1% of them say that it wasn't true. So, yeah, I agree with that part of it as well, but I don't think we're giving women enough credit because that takes courage to come out and say that somebody did that to you.
Exactly. Publicly, in the way that today is, Twitter and Facebook, everybody's in the market to shame people and who can just be the meanest. Really, just who can be mean.
You know, here's my other issue with that story, and not to minimize what he's been accused of, but to me, you know, if you go back and you look at the era in which, you know, these alleged crimes were committed, you know, I just think about that era, and that was the era of drugs. You know, especially when you were in Hollywood and entertainment, it was drugs, it was alcohol. And so when I look at his story doesn't sound unique to me. His story sounds typical. And it's like, okay, so all right, we're pulling Bill Cosby's, you know, bones out the closet, if you will. Whereas, you know, if Bill was doing it, Bill probably had a bunch of friends. They were probably doing it too. You know, I question, well, where are they stories at? You know what I'm saying? Why is he the only one getting his bones out the closet? Like, look, I mean, which is where the conspiracy comes in for me.
We can say the same thing about Woody Allen. Like, why is Woody Allen still able to make movies?
Right.
Speak on it.
Now you done said something.
Speak
right
on it.
Exactly. It's you know, he's not the first one to have the skeletons. He won't be the last. But right now we're, you know, anti Bill Cosby, or at least we're supposed to be. And yeah, like I said, he's not the only one. This is Hollywood. In Hollywood, you know, there's a lot of people who have skeletons in the closet out there that, you know, we're not even talking about, won't ever talk about. Some people that are dead, and we say they're the best at this and the best at that, and they were the greatest at this, and they got all kinds of bones in the closet. And we ain't talking about none of their bones. We just talking about their greatness. But, you know, but we supposed to hate Bill Cosby now because, you know, he's got these allegations.
I think it was his wife who spoke out and said that when women accuse a man of rape and it's proven that they were actually lying, or they, you know, were making up stories, that they should have the same type of punishment that the man would have if the story was actually true. Because she went into depth to say, you know, you're basically ruining somebody's life. Whether or not the story's allegations happen to be true or not, you're ruining somebody's life. Because forever people will remember them as, oh, he's a rapist, or he was accused as rapist. Mm-hmm. What was he doing to even be brought in that situation when he's accused of doing something so terrible?
And that's the bad thing about it. Like you say, if you even get accused of it, well, what did you do to make her want to lie on you? You're just automatically wrong. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't take, I mean, you know, everybody wants some money. You can go to a small one-horse town and you can find somebody who wants some money and pay them to lie. It's not that simple. It's 6.5 billion people in the world.
The only
you can go to somewhere like Oakland, Florida. You can go to Hollywood, Florida.
I'll say this. When 26 women say it, the chances are there's probably some truth in some of those stories. I'm not even denying that there's probably some truth in there. Like I said, I take exception to the fact that here's this one man who's, you know, these parties, some of these things they say happen at the Playboy Mansion. So I'm sure when there's a Playboy Mansion party, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of people there. And they're all doing the exact same thing.
And it was more than one rapist.
Exactly.
So come on now.
Pull out everybody's story. I just don't want to hear about Bill. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Absolutely.
Pause on that. So you got to get me straight. Let me get this straight. So I'm at the Playboy Mansion and I got to take something? Think about that,
back
man.
in the day.
To some degree,
that's sad.
I'm Bill.
I'm not talking. I'm just not speaking on. Well, first of all, you have to understand what rape is. Rape is about power and control.
It
has nothing to do with the ability to have intercourse with someone. Most rapists, you know, they don't say at least half the rapists. If you really look, they're not like someone women would consider ugly. So it's not like they don't have opportunities to have sex. It's about power control. Because you say no, I can do what I want to do. I say yes. That's what you have to understand. That's what it's about. So you have to separate it from just the ability to you know, have women. You know, that's, you know, that is what it is. That's nothing but a few bills away. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's not the issue.
And the idea that a lot of these women already came out 40, 20, 30 years ago and nothing was done. So they've been probably harboring all of these like emotions and insecurities and all these other issues that they got from that experience that they may or may not have with Bill Cosby all these years. So finally somebody comes out, and it's not easy to come out on something so serious as that, especially being the victim. So finally somebody comes out, I get a little bit of courage, so I'm going to come out. I mean, it got to a point where Oprah says she was in a situation with Bill Cosby. Oprah?
Yo,
I didn't hear
but,
about that.
I think
But who won
what's
Oprah?
funny is that,
Don't do that.
the last time he was
Stop.
accused was 2004. Like, this lady said that he sexually abused her in 2004. He settled out of court in 2006. It took for a comedian to make an offhand joke on some random stage, and it went viral on Twitter and Facebook, and then that's when,
All
you know,
those
my
niggas.
Niagara Falls.
Right. You know.
But I didn't mean to come to your show, man. I just wanted to call in.
Yeah,
Jason's back.
That was my main reason.
Jason, you know you're always welcome, brother.
I appreciate that, man.
Come on back.
All right, we'll talk to you later, man.
All right, y'all take it easy.
All right.
man. Yeah, like I said, that's just my whole take on that whole Bill Cosby. I'm not saying that he's innocent, but I also don't believe he's also exclusive, especially when you talk about his era, because that's what they did back then.
Yeah.
They drank, they did drugs, they did pills, they did it all.
Which always blows my mind.
They did it all back then.
That
And so-
generation is so hard on this current generation, especially with
Yeah.
weed. Like, what? Y'all hippies and folks and what was that? What's that big concert that they do back?
Woodstock.
Woodstock. Are you serious?
Woodstock, the Monterey Pop Festival.
Yeah. And so now it's this big deal, and oh no, you shouldn't do that.
No, see
Well,
what
you
it
know
is.
how
What
it
it,
is.
what it is at that time there was a generation in control that was a little more what's the word, conservative than them, and they were wild. But now they grown. You know, some of them are genuinely, well, I don't want you to go down the path I went on. But then you got other ones that's genuinely just, they in the business, they feel like they run the country. You go do what I tell you to do.
Acting up.
But yeah, so you know, we'll see what happens. I think ultimately, like everything, this too will pass,
This who will.
and we will move on and remember him for whatever it is that you decide to remember him for. So we will see what happens. Real quick, in the city or in the state, yesterday the gay marriage licenses were finally approved in the state of Florida. You guys got any thoughts about that?
It was coming.
It was
I'm
coming.
not surprised.
So let me get it straight.
It's gonna be everywhere.
Did you see that they had a huge party downtown? Buddy Dyer officiated
A mass
a
ceremony.
mass ceremony. The city bought a cake and cut cake for everybody.
When
in the
was
city.
this?
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Downtown.
Downtown yesterday.
And they had another one at a center, the LBGT center.
So we can legalize. We can't legalize.
LGBT.
Thank you, because I was like,
I
what?
know I'm wrong.
Wait,
I just
LGBT.
There
right.
it is.
LGBT.
Boom. No disrespect, but boom.
What'd you say, Mr. King?
I just don't understand how we can't legalize marijuana,
That's coming too.
but we can
Don't worry.
approve gay marriage that's under God. That just makes no sense.
Well, here's the
It's
thing.
coming.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I was listening to the D. Lee show. Was that Tuesday morning? Yesterday morning, yeah. And a lady called in. You know, her testimony was that she was delivered from homosexuality, and that's her ministry now. But anyway, she was saying the thing that we're not really paying attention to, not just the fact that they legalized it, but remember we voted it down, and the judge basically overturned it and said it's legal. So remember, it was on the ballot. Remember that? See, we forgot about that because we
Yeah,
don't
it was
vote.
a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah,
They took it all the way to the Supreme
Right,
Court.
we forgot about that because we don't vote. But you know, the voters voted against it, but then the judge overturned it. So that's a whole other issue in itself that's involved in that. But even outside of that, she also commented that she know a lot of, coming out of that community, she knows a lot, and a lot of gay people aren't really making a big deal out of it because they said domestic partnership was already approved. Because remember, the fighting thing behind this originally was they wanted to be able to have their partners on their benefit packages for work, on their life insurance policies, to be able to come see them in the hospital when they're sick, when they say only immediate family. They wanted that kind of ability, and a lot of this was kind of the first driving force behind it. But then a lot of states, when they pretty much figured, okay, the marriage thing was not going to work, so they, said domestic partnerships are legal, which straighten out all the paperwork as far as benefits, insurance, and all that things. So she was saying a lot of gay people aren't really in that big of a, doesn't see it as that big of a deal, because their whole thing behind it was not just getting a piece of paper saying we're married. It was more about, the legal benefits that marriages have between men and women.
That and being able to go to the hospital,
right? That's
in the back room,
right? In the back room, because only immediate family. Because in years previous, if the family didn't agree with it, they wouldn't have let the partner back there. So those are a lot of times what are driving reason behind they originally started. Now, obviously, you have this is took on a life of its own, and a lot of it's political, and you got all those kind of things playing into it. So it's one of them things. It is what it is. Saying not agreeing, but saying we should not be shocked because we knew it was coming. That's the way the world is working. It's going toward these days. It's just the way it's going. Let's leave it at that.
There's more to come. Is that what you're suggesting, sir?
Yes, it is more to come. And I'm not just saying from the LGBT community. I'm just saying it's just more to come in general. If you study, or if you're familiar with the Bible, it speaks about things that what Christians don't believe. A lot of this stuff is coming to pass, and it just is. It's not even about whether you agree with it or not. And
even with that, though, homosexuality has been around forever. So it always blows me when people say, "Oh, 2014 brought out all the gays." It's been around for
the whole gay marriage thing has been around for a long time.
Yeah, this isn't new.
You had homosexuals in the Bible.
That's all I'm saying.
It's not new. They wrote about it. Moses wrote about it in the Old Testament. So we didn't even got to get to Romans in the New Testament.
Right. There you go. All right. Just wanted to, reach out, get your opinion. That's all. Just curious. A couple of things that happened while we were gone, I was going to bring up real quick too. As we talked about a couple of, about 3 weeks ago, we talked about all the different rallies that were going on. We know we have the hashtag Black Lives Matter is going on. Of course, they buried the 2 police officers throughout the holidays here. What do you guys think about the fact that the NYPD, some of the officers were turning their backs on the mayor as he, spoke at these individual funerals?
So disrespectful. And here's the thing about the second one. Apparently, the widow asked them not to do it. She was like, "Okay, I get it that this is what y'all. Now is not the time to make a stance like that." Not only did she say it, the commissioner was like, "All right, guys, like really, come on," and they still did it.
I'm sorry. This is my issue with the whole thing was, okay, you disagreed with them, but now you took. First of all, I thought we was about the 2 cops that got killed. So now you grandstanded. So now we're not even at the funeral honoring the 2 fallen cops because everybody done forgot about it. Anybody know their name? See? Exactly. What we talking about?
Lou is one of his last names.
See, Lou. That's all you can tell me.
That's all I can tell you.
It was 2 of them died, and all you can tell me is Lou.
I can just tell you Lou.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's my issue.
The other brother was Spanish, though.
Right. But see, that's my issue with it. Now they upstaging the funeral. First of all, I thought you came to mourn and came to show your support. What is turning your back on the mayor doing for that family?
Thank you.
All you doing is grandstanding, trying to show. That's my whole. I ain't from New York, but that's my whole. I mean, obviously, our whole reputation towards the NYPD is what we see or hear from the media, but that's my problem that I have with them, from far away, is because it's like they it's almost like they run like a gang, like it's like, oh, we do what we want to do. It's like, it seems like their mentality, and a lot of people I've talked to from New York, been in New York, that's how it's just crazy. Like, that's how they operate. It's like they feel like they untouchable.
Yep. That's it. The commissioner or somebody in leadership there said these funerals are about grieving, not grievances.
Right, exactly.
And that, to me, said it all. And again, they still, not all of them, but a nice majority of them still turn their back.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is they're mad because he spoke something that actually happens to be true.
Yeah, about his son.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I keep trying to say.
I mean, they clearly have a history of, I don't want to say a history of treating black males inappropriately. They have a history of that, and so for a mayor to step up and say, especially, it matters that he's white and not black. I know that matters too.
Yeah, that's what they didn't like about it. Like, you betrayed us.
And so for him to speak up and say, because he has a black son, of course, to say, you know, he had that conversation that most black males, so I certainly know every black male father I know has a conversation with their black male son. And so he is unique in the sense that he has one, and he's not a black man, but he certainly has a black male son. And so he had that conversation. And so they're offended because that conversation is being had when they have a history of treating black males inappropriately. A history that has not even stopped, for that matter.
Continuously.
Right.
It continues and persists to this day. But they're upset because somebody recognized it and talked about it. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. You know, prove yourself to be something different, and then people will have something different to say. But until you do that, all I know is your history. So accept your history, man. Accept your fate. What is that, sir? We got a caller. How you doing today, caller?
I'm blessed, thank you. I wanted to comment on this issue.
Yes, go ahead and talk to me.
Okay, I believe what's happening is God is exposing the truth, and when they those cops turned their back on the mayor, they were turning their backs on the truth, so they don't want to face it.
Gotcha.
For years. I mean, I was living in New York. I'm a New Yorker. I've been living in Florida 15 years, but I'm still gonna always be a New Yorker. And I was there in New York marching with Al Sharpton for Sean Bell, innocent man, riding on his bike, got shot by the police, mistaken identity because he was wearing a navy blue hood, and somebody who had robbed a store also had the navy blue hood on, and he was riding his bicycle. Sean Bell was shot 50 times by police, by the popo, and it was unnecessary, because he couldn't hear them say stop, and they just shot open in the air, endangered other people's lives just so they could kill him 50 times. And he had no gun. He was just riding his bicycle. And then when they made a mistake, they wanted to pay the family millions of dollars, but it could never bring back Sean Bell. So it's about time. I'm not trying to say, you know, an eye for an eye is right, but the truth, it's going to be all up in your face. They could turn their backs all they want. It's still going to be the truth.
Exactly.
And justice is going to be served, whether it's on the street. If it's not served in the courts, you can best believe it's going to be served in the streets. You know, I'm not trying to put any hatred out there. My niece looks white, but her heart is black, and she got that 1% black in her. So I love it, you know, prejudice or nothing, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got it.
The truth is the truth, black and white, up in your face. So they could turn their backs all they want, but God, they see them, they know who they are, and it's going to be exposed.
All right, I appreciate your comment tonight, Evangelist.
God bless you.
God bless you too. Yeah, like I said, I mean, they do have a history, so until they outlive their history or prove themselves to be something else besides their history, the expectation will be that is what they are, and they need to get it together and get over themselves. And I even read an article that talk about how you gotta get the bad ones out if you want us to think of something different. And we want to thank you for listening to us tonight. Again, we want to welcome back Miss McCray.
Hey.
We love you, Miss McCray. We will see you next week, 9 p.m.
1680 WOKB AM, Winter Garden, Florida.